Hello, my name is Leo Ivey, and I've been working with Dr. Bryan McLean to see how well spatial distribution models, or SDMs, can predict range shifts in eastern fox squirrels or Sciurus niger. Fox squirrels are common across the east coast of the United States and can even range in southern portions of Canada and northern portions of Mexico. Recently, an influx of fox squirrels has been recorded on the west coast, especially in more urbanized areas. Because of this well-documented range shift, fox squirrels make for a very good model species for this sort of study. In Figure 1, you can see a picture of a fox squirrel, which was taken in Florida. Below, you can see a map generally outlining where we consider the native range of fox squirrels to be in orange, and the introduced range in green. These are all occurrences that were eventually used in our study. Literature suggests that around 50% of species will see a range shift sometime in the future as a result of human impact and climate change. In order to predict these range shifts, we need to have reliable models that can not only account for climate variables, but also account for anthropogenic variables, which is to say, human impact. To do this, we use the modeling software Maxent, which uses a machine learning technique called maximum entropy modeling. In the fourth figure, you can see that Maxent requires occurrence records as well as climate variables to create projections. For our study, we combined occurrence records from 3 different sources: BERTnet, iNaturalist, and other occurrences which were in published literature, to create a final data set of over 38,000 records. These records were then thinned and organized by decade, from 1910 up to 2000. Any records from before 1910 were used to create a baseline historic range for the fox squirrels. Once we had our data set, we were able to plug each of these decade bins into Maxent to get projections for the expected presence of fox squirrels for the next decade. You can see in Figure 3 that there are 2 projections. The first is a test range for the model using area that we expect to find the fox squirrels distributed, as well as areas that we do not expect to find the squirrels, and excluding any occurrences from the introduced range, to allow the program to learn what to look for. Once it has had the chance to figure that out, we then ask the program to project where it thinks the squirrels will be across the rest of North America. Here you can see what we found. The first figure shows, in order, how many occurrences we gave the program for each decade. And these included all of the prior occurrences from previous decades, as well as any new ones specific to that decade. The second figure shows the distribution models for each decade, and you can see how the program gradually refines the distribution of the squirrels as it gains more data to work with. The third figure shows the overall projections for North America by decade, which eventually evens out towards the last few decades. The final figure is a comparison of the final projections as well as all of the occurrences for each decade, which are shown in white. As you can see, the model is unable to account for human impact in urban areas. There are many occurrences on the West Coast where the model would expect there to be none, and these are primarily in urban areas, like Los Angeles, for example. In order for these models to be more reliable, it is important to incorporate data that accounts for human changes to landscape, and more research is needed to further refine spatial distribution models.